Hey, I'm Eric Lee with Starfish Coaching and Designers Business Academy. For those who follow my channel, know that this is not my usual backdrop. You're right. I'm actually in the middle of a 3-week African safari trip, so watch to the end and I'll tell you why that's relevant to the topic of this video, which is getting out of the business owner's trap. Yeah, so getting out of this owner's trap that we create for ourselves was the theme of an educational talk that I delivered to a construction association. So for all the business owners out there, think about how you first start your business. What was the evolution of it from startup to growing the business and taking on staff? Do you even remember what was the impetus for you starting your business? The majority of business owners start out the same way and they slowly entrap themselves with their business, and here's the sad part, they don't even know it. So I want to dive into that startup phase and talk a bit about this trap that we get ourselves into. Let's start from the very beginning. Even before you start your own business, you were probably working for a boss as a technician, doing whatever you were trained to do in your vocation. You either didn't like your boss or you thought that you could do a better job than what they did. Many of us start our business thinking that it will give us time freedom. And these are the thoughts that starts it all. After some thinking and planning, you pull the trigger and start your very own business. In the beginning of your business, you have a lot of time and not much work, so you do whatever you can to get new clients. You also don't have revenue, so you do whatever it takes to cut expenses. This means you perform all the functions on top of the technician and operator hats that you wear, including bookkeeping, admin, and maybe even janitorial duties because you can't afford to pay someone else to do it. You are bootstrapping the business as it is already, and your sweat equity is what is funding the startup. Eventually, you get some business and you're thrilled. You put your heart and soul into doing the work well and giving the best customer service possible because, well, it's your business. You exceed all of your customer expectations because it's done to your highest standard. Your ecstatic customers tells everyone else about you, and you're getting more work than you can handle. At this stage, you're learning new skills as the business operator that you never had to deal with when you were just working for someone. Things like managing production schedule, monitoring expenses, and cash flow are things that you never learned in your vocation school. As you get busier and busier, you evolve to the next stage of your business growth and you start to bring on staff. This brings on a whole host of new challenges and issues that you've never had to deal with as a technician. But the work continues to come in, and worst of all the customers ask for you by name because, well, you've served them so well. At this point, you are faced with a common dilemma for business owners. A, do you do all the work yourself to maintain the high standard that your customers know you for and accept that you don't have work-life balance? Or B, do you start to accept a lower quality standard because you realize you simply can't do everything yourself? Herein lies the subtle trap that we as business owners create for ourselves. We've created such a successful solopreneur business that we can't easily get out of it. In effect, the very business that we create to give us time freedom is now enslaving us. On top of it all, our education as a technician never taught us how to be a business owner. So we are lacking the very knowledge to get out of this trap. Well, if we know that it's time freedom and work-life balance that we ultimately want, then it's time to think like a business owner instead of like a technician. We have to separate the business from ourselves and set it up so that it can run on its own without our involvement. You have to shift from the technician mindset of your business, bringing in the work for you to do, to having a self-sustaining business that operates and generates profit for you as the owner, even if you weren't working in it. And that's the key point. This is why I wanted to share this knowledge with you while I'm here on my African safari trip. I'm going to be away for 3 weeks, but the 3 businesses that I own and operate are still running without my involvement. As a business owner, this really is the goal, so that you don't have to be enslaved by your business, but it still generates profit. Okay, now, how do we set up a business so that it can run on its own? In setting that up, there really isn't just one thing that you can do to set up for success. In my years of building my own businesses and studying other successful businesses, I've come to realize that there are 8 key components of a business that needs to be strong in order to have success. If you can strengthen these 8 key components, then profits will follow and you can start to step away. 1. Mindset. So this is the mindset that you need to get yourself out of being the worker, the worker bee, the technician. And that is a very different mindset than being a business owner, a business operator. And that's what you really need to train on in the beginning. As they come out of being an employee to a business owner, that's probably the biggest obstacle. And you have to work on that first before anything else can happen. 2. Values, vision, and mission. All 3 of these components are very important. It's so key to understand fundamentally who you are and, more importantly, your company. Values, vision, and mission, because that's where you start to attract the right people for your team and also the right clients that buy into your value and mission and who you are in terms of your values. When you build a team, you need to understand that, because good people are purpose driven and they want to know where you're heading to see if they align. 3. Marketing. There's a lot of things and a lot of noise to marketing, but there are some key fundamentals that you need to figure out for your business first. And that's things like your target market, your core audience, your niche, and your core focus. All of these needs to be solidified so that you know the direction that you're heading to with your marketing. 4. Process. This is one of the key components if you're thinking about stepping away but maintaining the quality. Remember that quality that I talked about as the solopreneur that you want to maintain? This is how you do it. If you can think about your process very clearly, you know it, you document it, you train it to all your people, and you monitor it, this is how you don't have to be everywhere all at once to maintain that quality. 5. Metrics. So it's great having a business, but it's impossible to know what your results are if you don't measure. And metrics is putting measurement into the things that are important to you. Whatever your values are and what's the priorities of your business, you want to measure that, set up metrics so that you can monitor that even when you're away. The 6th component is people. People is very important, and people is one of those things that you don't learn to manage as a technician when you were trained in your vocation school. You really learn how to become a manager when you start growing your company, and you just learn as you go with failure. But if you can do this well and learn it quick, then it cuts down on the people stress of any business. It's also about finding the right people, and that's where your core values and vision and mission come in. If you can find the right people, they would love to be part of your company and they would love to stay long term, and that solves your tenure problem. People and tenure and hiring, all of that is probably the most expensive expense for any business. So if you can solve that, then you're well ahead. 7. Issues. As business owners, we are problem solvers. That comes with the territory, and that will always be there. No matter what you do, you as a business owner have to solve the problems. Now, you don't have to solve all of them, and if you build a team, you can delegate a lot of it. And if you know how to solve issues well, get to the core cause of it, then the issues don't keep on coming up as different symptoms. And that's how you don't keep on spinning in the same issues. So learn to solve them well, and also learn to delegate the issues to the right people to solve. And you are left with only solving the biggest business problems. 8. Goals. So with goals, this is the key to any result. Any company that wants some traction and wants some success and results, you have to have a system of goal setting. If you can get your weekly tasks done, that will lead to your monthly goals, which will lead to your quarterly goals, and then finally your annual goals. And the annual goals is what leads to the long-term vision that you've set for yourself. So I've really only given you an intro to these key components. And really, honestly, all of this is easier said than done. I know, because I spent years to fully understand this for my business. But if you're serious about strengthening your business, I'd suggest reach out to me. I can better understand your situation and help you with your business and come up with a solution. I've done this for myself and many others, and I can do the same for you. I also have an in-person training which I can take you through, and your managers, so that I will not only teach you how to do everything you need to do, but I will also be alongside of you as you execute it. So I hope this video gave you an understanding of the trap that we as business owners get ourselves into. But the good news is, Now you have awareness and you don't have to choose the same. You don't have to choose being enslaved by your business. There is another option. So reach out to me and I'd love to have a chat. Also, please pass this video on to any colleagues that you may have that you think can help them. I'm Eric Lee with Starfish Coaching and I can turbocharge your success.